Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Sunday edition of the Paranormal Weekend Morning Brew Show. I'm Nighthawk. We're going to have G and Dennis coming on shortly, and just want to go over a few announcements like we always have to do to protect ourselves from being, spammed out or copyright disclaimers and all that crud and the robots and stuff and the bots out there that are censoring us and all the fun stuff claiming that it's theirs and not us. So I can't wait till AI gets fully involved. Gonna be a good fight, huh? Anyways, copyright disclaimer. This channel may use some copyrighted materials without specific authorization of the owner, but contends that it falls under the Fair Use Act of 1976. And it does. Nighthawk High Strange's podcast channel fair use of any commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, research, parody, and general knowledge only. Per Title 17 USC subsection 107 of the 1976 Copyright Act, otherwise known as the Fair Use Act. All right, and that also includes all of our advertising for the spots, the music, everything. Anybody who wants, to do the music like I do, like some of the intros, can go to an app called Splice, and it is 100% free. And you can do your videos on there, just like I do, and they have a wide selection of music to go by, that, jingle writers and stuff, and I don't know what else you would call them, people that make the short intro musics that sell on the internet, and these companies buy it and all that, and we watch like a 30-second commercial and get to use the music for free, so hey, it's free, and nowadays you have to take advantage of what's free. Okay. One more thing, reminder: tomorrow night at 11 p.m. we are having our first High Strangeness Paranormal News Hour. Okay. It's at 11 o'clock Eastern Time. We've got several subjects we're going to be covering. It's going to be myself and Dennis for this episode, and we are going to do this news hour once per month. So about every 3 weeks or so, you can look for, the intro leading up to the news hour, but it's going to be one Monday at 11 p.m. every month. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to cover all the news from the month, previously. So, just to get everybody caught up on, what's happening in the paranormal world, supernatural world, cryptid world, and anything weird. Okay. So, that being said, let me get this disclaimer off of here. And let me see here. Let me get down to where, oh yeah, you see it yet? Are you guys seeing it yet? I'd really like to know, you know. Um the one thing that bugs the crap out of me is the fact that there's such a majority of people that don't see it yet. They don't understand that we are literally slaves in the network. And the network controls us. They control what we buy, what we eat, what we read, what we watch, everything we do, including what we wipe our butt with. So, I mean, it's everything. Everything. You pay taxes, and then you pay taxes again, and then you pay taxes again, and then upon your death, you pay taxes again. Somebody's getting rich off of it, and it sure as heck ain't us. So, anyways, that being said, I just wanted to put that out there this morning and let everybody know that we are going to be talking about the orbs today. And I'm going to bring G on. There's G. And we are going to be talking about orbs today. It was Dennis's and G's
Yeah.
idea. And, I did
Yeah,
some research.
I'm sorry. I'm a little late. I got accosted by some orbs on the way in here, and you don't mess with the orbs in my neighborhood. They carry switchblades.
Yep. They'll cut you. They'll cut you. Yep. They will.
Yeah.
So everybody have a restful night.
Yeah,
Kinda.
research wise, it was pretty good.
Getting them books written, Dennis.
Uh-huh. Well, a lot of people don't understand, but half of writing is research, because you can't write something that's not true, or you shouldn't. Of course, a lot of people don't go by that rule. Some people don't. They throw that rule out the window real quick. But
Yep.
writers are supposed to stick to the truth, whatever the matter is. You don't just go ahead and make stuff up unless you're writing fiction. And I'm not a fiction writer, so there you go. So half of what I do is research, and the other half is writing and trying to get my idea across. Just like what we're doing right now, communication is very important. And if you don't communicate in the correct way, well, it's kind of like what John Wayne once said. Okay, he said it's my job to it's my part to say what I'm going to say, and it's your part to understand what I said. And that is true. You have to be very careful how you do things, because people can misunderstand you. You don't want to do that, so that messes your communication up. So that's what we do, especially podcasts like this. We have to make sure that people don't misunderstand us from whatever point of view we're coming from on it. And that's very important. We don't want to do like the government and do the misinformation thing, or disinformation, as some people call it. We don't want to join in with them on that, definitely.
I'm sporting one of my shirts that is on bonfire right now, so I figured I'd be the model today. So it's the Bigfoot silhouette with all the different names of Bigfoot, like Momo, Skunk Ape, Grass Man. So telling you,
That
man,
that picture kind of looks like Grassman a little bit, the way he's been depicted. That picture you got on there, yeah. It looks kind of like Grassman.
Yeah.
And Grassman's very interesting, Bigfoot. He I think it sounds more elemental than anything else in the way they talk about him, but that's not what our show's about today. But anyway, Grassman is interesting.
I think I'll tell you what I think he is. In fact, I know he is. He's probably a support. Well, I know he's a supporter of the moonshiners in the Ohio Valley, back in the Knolls and the Crooks and Hills, because Grassman does like his mash. He does like his mash. So, I could tell.
There's an old folklore tradition, William. There's an old folklore tradition that spirits, like spirits, by the way, I'm talking about the kind of drinking spirits. Yeah.
I could tell you a couple stories, about people that do moonshine in that part of the country that have told me that they get their barns busted into, or their sheds, or wherever they hide their mash at to ferment, and they literally get it busted into, and it's gone. And there's these big tracks.
An impediment for researchers in that area, though. You got to figure out what the real Grassman is, or what the moonshiners want you to believe, to keep you scared away from their stills and all that. They did a lot of that too. They made up a lot of stories about Grassman, trying to scare people out of there. So you have to be careful what you're dealing with.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll talk about the Grassman on another episode, and Bigfoot on another episode, probably next Saturday. I think it'd be
orbs.
Yeah, orbs are
Orbs.
today.
Well, did you find out anything about the most peculiar orb of all, the black orbs?
I found out that a lot of places think that they are either scientifically made, like small little like portals, or they
Mhm.
are literally observation devices,
Mhm.
kind of like the Black Knight satellite, but smaller.
Well, the evidence I've seen on some of them so-called evidence, you never can be sure nowadays if it's really true or not. But it looks like a hole in time
Hmm.
and space. That's what it looks like. I mean, it's like a moving hole, and or donut hole, if you want to call it that, or whatever. But
Yep.
that's what it kind of looks like. And a lot of people speculate that there may be an alien influence behind it. It could be some type of an alien probe that's phasing in and out of time and space doing that. Some people speculate on that. Um, some
Well, the
people
third thing.
speculate. I'm gonna tell you one thing. Let's get one thing right clear right quick before we get into this. Okay, folks. 99. Well, I'm gonna say 95% of all orbs are dust motes and water droplets. That's not what we're talking about here today. Okay. I mean, I can go out on a rainy day and make you thousands of orbs with a picture. Okay. That's not what we're talking about. And I can't get off with these people saying, oh, it's got to be this color and it's that color and it's a different spirit if it's this color. And I don't go along with a lot of that either because that's been disproven. And that is not what real spiritual energy looks like, folks.
Mhm.
Okay. Real spiritual energy does not look like a dust mote. Okay. You don't. And you can see these things with the naked eye sometimes in a sunbeam, light of sunbeam, or light coming in a window. Sometimes it's dust, or it can be water droplets. We're not talking about that. We're talking about things like this black orb. We're talking about that have an intelligence like to them.
Well,
They move around objects and not bumping up against them or flowing around, nonchalantly just doing their own thing. We're talking about something with some intelligence like behind it. Definitely. And I've had a lot of people tell me, "Oh, I saw this kind of a thing. It was an orb, and it turned out to be like a mosquito or a moth." Caught on camera. It's not a bug
mhm.
either, folks. Okay, it's something else beyond that. The real true orbs. Okay, I just want to get that out in the open because a lot of people mistake that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The third thing that I was going to say that I found out about him is very, very interesting, though, Dennis. And I'm not sure if you found out about this aspect of it, but we all know lately what direct energy weapons are, okay? That our own secret military projects are doing right now. And we all have heard about Project Bluebeam, okay? I have kind of connected the dots leading to from these specific orbs that, you know, pilots are seeing in the sky and people are seeing on the ground, um, going through woods and all that. Typically they're the size of a basketball, or remember the big beach balls that they used to have that were like 3 feet in diameter, something like that. Um, and there is a guy, I don't want to disclose his name, but he's out there talking about how he works for the government. Okay, and he's not hiding the fact. He's very, very, he skirts the issue of direct answering, and you have to kind of make out or discern, from what he says to you, through, like, certain scenarios and all that, that he describes. But apparently a division of our military, U.S. Navy, anyways, they have direct beam weapons technology. And apparently, what they have been doing is charging the ions in the atmosphere, the hydrogen and the oxygen ions in the atmosphere, and they can make it look like one orb, or they can make it look like
Uh-oh.
as soon as I started talking about it, I knew it. As soon as I started talking about it. Okay. All right. I'm gonna try and get this out quick. Anyways, this military branch of the United States directs these energy weapons. They cross beam them into, like, they have like several of them at different angles, and they hit together, and they create this ion atmosphere orb. Okay, about the size of a
Right.
basketball to a 36-inch beach ball. Okay, and they can make them one orb, 100 orbs, a dozen orbs. They can make them any amount they want. Okay, and it's to influence the enemy, and they've been specifically using it on Navy pilots to see their reaction time. They describe it like almost like the pilots describe it as they're reacting to a cat laser toy. Okay, like somebody's controlling a laser point. You know how a cat runs around.
Right.
Well, there's a speculation that that's how the Hawaii fire started.
Yeah, that somebody was messing around
Yeah.
with an experiment on the energy, transference thing. Well, William, since you mentioned that, there is another experiment I found out about that uses the black balloons, and they are completely round black balloons, but inside them they have microphones and have sound and speakers and sound resonators. And what these are sound and we do know that sound is a weapon too. Okay, and I know without doubt that then I've seen pictures of these balloons, and they could be also, misidentified as a black orb. If you saw one, gets a certain background, you would say that looks because they're not like a regular shiny balloon. They're dark black, and they're big. They're probably about the size of that beach ball you're talking about. You know, the big beach balls.
Yeah.
And they send these up and bounce sound off of them in these sound wave experiments, and that's some of it. I think some of that could be. But what you're talking about is that they use these orbs that they create to sort of. You remember the old flipper games we used to play when we were kids? You remember the pinball games?
Yeah.
This is kind of like what they're bouncing signals and stuff and lasers off of these orbs. These plasma type things that you're talking about, they're using those to direct energy beams and stuff. It's fascinating. I mean, this stuff is real dark science here.
Yeah.
And I think that's some of the things that people are seeing. Here's one more thing we got to think about. It's a possibility that some of this junk is some type of alien probes.
Yeah.
That we don't know about. You know?
Well, one thing that I've also wondered too with the whole orbs thing is, how certain people say that they're spirits and stuff like that too, which is fine. They, everybody is allowed their opinion and their own theory on this, okay? Because nobody's an expert, okay? It's not like we have orbs and little mason jars in our rooms, and we're studying them,
You don't? I've got some. Oh, okay. Anyway.
Anyways,
I'm gonna keep that quiet.
But I mean, nobody's a complete 100% expert on this subject, so just everybody's.
Well, let me tell you this. One of the very first things, and I'm not going to we're not going to get off into another subject here. We can help it, but one of the and this is what strikes me as strange. One of the very first times that I saw demonic spirits, they took upon themselves the images of orbs, and like I said, these were dirty light. That's the only way I can describe them. They were like balls of dirty light, and they were about the size of soccer balls. That's one of the first images, and I know beyond that they take on other images as well. But that, I think, is an orb of spiritual energy.
Right.
That's
Right.
what I
Yeah.
think it really
Well,
was.
and that's what I was going to say. I was going to actually say that it's, some of the research I did find out that some people believe, and some especially religious people believe, that they could be supernatural entities. That whether it's angelic or whether it's demonic, that depending on, like you said, the colorations in it, the pure white orbs, they depict them as being angelic, I guess, and the darker grayish, kind of a misty, murky, kind of a murky water type of looking orbs are like the
evil.
demonic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but you know what? Here's the funny thing about that, William. That coordinates. I tell this Geryl probably knows what I'm talking about too. That coordinates with the candle colors. You burn this kind of colored candle for a certain thing. You burn that color, and it coordinates with that. I think this is what people are reading into some of this stuff. It's not necessarily true. I have to disagree with a lot of them on that. I don't know. I mean, you can't go by colors alone that way.
right.
With something like this. But I have heard spiritual energy, and I have seen spiritual energy manifest in orbs, and they will be like probably around the size of a golf ball, maybe not quite as big as a baseball.
Right. Right. Yeah.
I've seen them do that and go pop, they'll pop, and that is real spiritual, and they can have different colors. I understand that. I mean, you can have blue. I don't think that relates to whatever they are, though. Is what I'm saying. In that respect, but I could be wrong. But I'm just saying that's my own personal opinion on that.
Now on our YouTube channel, we have videos and pictures of orbs out in our back field, and a couple of them actually look like there might be something inside of them, because when we zoom in on them, they almost look like there's a figure or some kind of shadow looking in, and it could be us just thinking that there's something in there, but it really does. The more I look at it, the more I see something in it.
Well, your standard orb would have something in it, Geryl. Either water droplet or dust mote. I mean, it does have a substance to it in that respect. There goes the orb right there.
My pet orb. It's my pet orb.
That's your pet orb, yeah.
Yeah, it's my pet.
They're good. So. They're good to have. They'll fetch you slippers and all that kind of stuff for you.
Yep.
Now
it's my guard orb.
Last night while I was looking at some of the black orbs, actually looked like there was maybe cities or a landscape on the other side of some of them when you looked at them.
Yeah, that was a very interesting. That's that's described as Skinwalker Ranch a lot, as being seen in the sky, and you could see something on the other side. It's like looking through a window.
Yeah,
but it would be completely different. Like they seen some at night, and you could see daylight through them. Like that was very interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting subject. And all the varied what everybody thinks they could possibly be too, which is very interesting. But I just when I found out about this guy that he was going around talking about it, he's very, very selective on what he says, and I noticed when I started talking about it, my computer went funky. I couldn't see anybody, I couldn't hear anybody. It was the whole thing was all black.
Dead air.
Yeah, so I'm going to be a little bit more careful on how I say it, because
you got to kind of swim around the obstacles there a little bit, William.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, but
maybe we're starting. Maybe we need to make our own code up one day. Yeah. Maybe we'll have to come up with one. But anyway, you have to be careful what you say nowadays. And here's a good thing: you can say something without actually coming out and saying that. That's what you got to be careful to do. I've learned that the hard way. You got to say, well, you have to stop to a certain point and kind of go around it, and hopefully people will catch on to that. What you're trying to say. But
Right, exactly.
the reason is, and this is very important. We got to remember that their programs are set to on certain words, and that's the way they're catching this stuff. Certain words that are said, like I won't say any, but certain words can trigger that in that respect. So we have to be very careful, definitely. But the orb thing is fascinating because there's so many different ramifications to it, and I find fascinating the alien probe part of it. What if they are, especially these red orbs that are seen in the sky? I know Geryl knows what I'm talking about here too, and uh, that sounds very much like alien probes or something to me. The way they move and all that, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Well, there's a
Yeah.
video out where I think it's a red orb that they've caught making crop circles, that they've caught it live on camera.
Yeah, I've seen that. I don't know if that's real. I think that's the one Williams got there, but I don't know if that's really true. And I mean, that could be fake, but that was very interesting. It looks like a metal sphere, um, a round metal sphere. And there is one that the Navy put out. I don't know if you've seen that. I think it was in Afghanistan or somewhere. This thing was called going over a base or something, and it was a round metal-looking sphere type thing. Um, that was very interesting, and the Navy put that out as one of their most unexplained UFO captures, um, film captures. That's very interesting. It's kind of like an alien probe to me, kind of a thing.
Yeah, so you could I mean, me and Jane, we kind of talk about orbs here and there, especially when we see them out in our backfield at night when we're stargazing, and we think they're either a spirit or a light force, or we don't know really how to explain it, but I would assume that if it's energy and a spirit or a person is dimensional, then they are energy when they come in through into our world. So why couldn't they be an orb or tied together, somehow connected?
Well, the one way, and I'll tell this to everybody listening today, the one way to make sure an orb is not an insect is insects rarely fly in a straight line. They kind of deviate. You know what I'm saying? They have a way about their movement. And the way you can tell that's not an insect that you're looking at is if it goes in a straight line. I mean, almost mechanical like. You know what I'm saying? That's a difference in that. And I've actually had people come to me with ghost orb captures and they wanted to know about it. And I said, well, that kind of makes me interested when I see one doing a straight peripheral line like that. There's something interesting about that more so than just a bug or a dust mote or whatever. You got to first rule those three out. A bug, a dust mote, or a water drop. And when you rule that out, then you got some interesting stuff to look at.
Yeah. True. Very true. Um, but some people out there actually believe that they could be fae too. I saw a comment here that Celia said that like right here, she says that an orb came to her window and basically interacted with her and then left. Some people claim that they could be fae. Maybe they're fae. Some
Well, that
type of a
sounds
form.
like spiritual energy there. That kind of sounds like spiritual. I'll tell you the thing about the spiritual type energy orbs. They are fuzzy looking a little bit. I mean, they are. They have a different context to them. It's hard to
I like
describe. Like I said,
Susan's.
those.
I like Susan's.
Yeah.
Well,
Big
Go ahead.
Brother is watching because
when, like I said,
Uh-huh.
once you're delving into dimensional or energy, and they're all different looking, they have some of them almost look like little lightning balls where they have, that's where you get the kind of fuzzy. It's almost like energy coming out of the sphere. And some of them are just like bright white or bright orange or green or just all different colors, but they all have
they radiate. They radiate sort of like electricity. I'm not going to say it's electricity, but something along those lines. I think they radiate a sort of a static electricity, like static charge. I've had people describe them to me as it popping like with an actual sound, pop and go away. That sounds a little bit like energy. To me, definitely, or whatever type of energy you might be talking about there. But energy does that, and electricity especially. I have actually seen ball lightning, and of course, science used to say that there was no such thing as ball lightning. By the way, now they've changed their mind. They actually found out we were right all these years that we talked about it. But that's very close to the way these orbs, although it's kind of wild. It can do whatever it wants to. It's very erratic, but it does have a little bit of an orb look to ball lightning. Ball lightning does that. So that's a possibility too that some people see that. But buddy, when you see ball lightning, it's lightning. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's part of the process of whatever lightning is doing. You don't mistake it for an orb floating around that way.
Then if you're a spirit coming into our dimension or our realm, you're going to be energy.
Oh yeah.
So it makes sense that you're going to have a little bit of a spark or a shine to it, because you can see it building up inside that sphere. So
Yep.
And
you
can't make or destroy energy, so it's got to be connected somehow. When you come into this realm, you could be a sphere, you could be an apparition, you could be whatever coming into this world.
Well, that's what I've said about Glimmer Man. We've talked about Glimmer Man a lot. He seems to be something that's transitioning from one reality to another, and that would definitely be what a spiritual entity would do. And I've said this before. I've seen demonic entities do this as well. When they're transitioning from phasing from that one reality, whatever name you want to call it, to another, there's a definite charge to it. You know what I'm saying? There's a definite electrical like charge or whatever, some kind of energy charge. Some people call it plasmatic or whatever the case may be. But I believe that there is definitely an energy release when that happens, And I've seen that happen also around portal activities, supposedly. There is an energy like release there. That vibration, that in the air. There's a feeling the compasses go kind of crazy. There's a magnetic kind of an energy thing going on there. So what you said, Geryl, makes perfect sense,
If you go to our YouTube channel there at Midwest Night Watchers, we have a video where it looks like a portal or an energy field is starting to appear in the trees behind us in across our field that we have the view of in our backyard. And we've slowed it down. We've looked at it. We've zoomed in on it, and it looks like a sphere shape in the tree. And it's like little sparks coming out, almost like one of those plasma balls, you'd see that they'd have on people's desk where the lightning comes
I got
off
one.
in it. That's
I got one over
exactly
here.
what it looks
The
like.
one you put your hand on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one. Yeah.
It's forming inside the tree, and it, we watched it for a long time on this video, and Jane recorded it, and she didn't realize she was capturing it. We were just trying to see what was out there at night, and she happened to notice it while we were going through the footage that, man, that looks like a portal or an energy field starting.
Possibility. It could have been an alien probe watching you. You never know.
We don't need no probing going around here, so let me tell you.
But some UFO researchers have reported being watched by probes like that. That these things may be actually watching what. If we're interested in them, they seem to turn around and become more interested in us. in that respect. And I've had a lot of cases. I've had a local case of a lady not too far from where I'm at that has been harassed by these orb-like things in the sky. I mean, actually harassed by them. It feels like they're kind of like, picking on her. And she has not established any kind of a psychic bond or anything with this. Um, there seems to be that possibility, though, sometimes that there's something. Instead of us watching them, they're really watching us. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just tried to use my cell phone to make Crystal Hippie Chick Raven Creek Charms a moderator, and guess what happened to my phone?
What? It went dead on you?
Completely dead. Completely dead.
Well, we'll tell the powers that be you can't stop the signal. Okay,
And the
you
fact of
can't
the
stop
matter
the
is,
signal.
it's over 90% charged. It should have had a full battery almost. So I don't know.
Wow. I tell you what, we've all had that during. You know this very well, William, and I'm sure you do too, Geryl. Many, many, many times I've gone into areas with a full charge battery pack, and boom, it's gone. It drains your battery completely. There are certain things out there that will do that very quickly. Oh yeah, I believe they're feeding off of energy though, just like what we were talking about just a minute ago. They in order to manifest, they need energy in certain aspects from one side, from one end or the other, wherever they're coming from or going to. I think they need that charge.
Well, just in case, guys, I'm going to put it out there. Okay. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke. I don't even drink alcohol. I'm basically a dull kind of a guy who just researches and investigates weird stuff. And
That's me too. That's me too.
I stick to my kind of people that are in that same genre, type of a thing. But I'm pretty much, a loner, for that matter. So if you see any videos or hear of any stories about me hanging out with a couple guys in black suits with the hat and all that and the sunglasses, or you see me, walking and talking to a couple officers from the Air Force or the Army or the Department of Navy or something, trust me, they're not my friends, okay? So
William, I've already left instructions that if I disappear mysteriously, I got people that's going to look into it very, very closely.
Exactly.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah, I mean it's just, it is what it is. We do stick our necks out a lot because a lot of the reason people don't talk about it is because people are brainwashed and controlled by the powers that be, and some of us, a very small sect of us, have removed ourselves from that possibility of being under that control because
they don't like that,
and they don't like that. So it is what it is. We put our lives on the line every time we investigate something. A lot of people don't understand that, don't realize that. That's why I have pet orbs.
We've had a lot of harassment, William. I know we all have over the years by government and everything else, the black ops or whatever name you want to give them. That's just the risk you run. That's what I said in my book, The Road Unseen. They're not going to stop me. They know that I'm a wild card, and they're not going to stop me. They know that, and that's why they do these things to me. They do these things to you too. They will come after you. Don't think so, Geryl. They will. They'll be on your doorstep if you don't watch out. But that's the risk you run. That's the risk you run when you get into this business. I found that out years ago, my friend.
Yeah.
definitely.
There is, that's why we appreciate everybody in the chat, everybody in our community and our extended family, because, we look out for each other. I can't count you the number of times Tombstone has personally messaged me asking me if I'm okay and, what's going on. I wanted to check on you, and it's not just because of my health. I mean, obviously there's other things too that go on, like you guys have seen before in the videos, where our computer system has been shut down, noises outside, like somebody's lurking around, watching, just all kinds of weird stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, he checks on me for that too. And Tombstone, I appreciate that. And Juno's the same way. And several others, Karen Peterson, Rosie does it every now and then too, so I mean, it's like, it's greatly appreciated, because without that contact, we wouldn't have the community that we have to pass on information so quickly, if you know what I mean. And if we have that community, like, we could go on and on and on about Nighthawk High Strangeness podcast channel, or Hunting the Shadows, or Midwest Night Watchers channel. We don't do that because we think of ourselves as a family, as an oyate, a nation,
family unit.
Right.
And you know what? There's strength in unity.
Right.
Okay, that protects all of us.
Right.
That's the way it goes.
Exactly. And that goes out to Bigfoot Michigan Rob, to D.A. Roberts, to Jessica Jones, to Barry Littleton, to anybody else out there that has a podcast, like Tom Cardos, Shane, Ryan Crisp, Carlito, everybody out there that has their own podcast and their own channel and has their own responsibilities in this world of weird that we live in, and reporting on it. We literally have to watch each other's backs because we don't know what could happen. And when we're dealing with,
that's what they want to do, William. They would love to isolate us. Don't you understand? That's the way they work. They want to isolate you, cut you off, get you in that corner. That's where they want you. Yeah. And when you have a little bit of a network like you're talking about, when we've got a network like that keeps them off of us a little bit better. It does help big time.
Yeah. And I forgot.
It's weird. It's weird how they made us all stay home and isolate, trying to keep us all in our houses. And then they opened up a big old can of worms when we all got together and started making podcasts and talking to each other. They created a worse problem, and now they don't know what to do with it.
Exactly. That is.
And I had just on this subject, thinking about it, many, many, many years ago, I had an exorcist tell me this, that once you start tweaking the nose of the force of the darkness, don't think that they don't know who you are. They will know where you live, and they can touch you anytime they want. But don't ever forget, they want to isolate you and get you alone. And that way they can do what they want to. He said, don't ever forget that you have help. You have help at hand, whether that be the Almighty or whoever. You've got help. Then as long as you're not alone in that battle, you have a chance. Okay, that's just the way that goes, and that's very true. I found that to be true over the years. That man knew exactly what he was talking about. And when you go up against these forces, you got to have backup. You got to have somebody at your back. You don't want to do it alone. I'm like you, William. My whole life I've been a loner. Okay, I never was really good in organizations or groups or clubs or whatever name you want to give them. I've always been a lone wolf. But I've had to I had to be very careful about that because it has a vulnerability to it too. That you got to be very careful,
Yeah, true, very true. So, but you'd be surprised how many of us start out alone, and by ourselves in this type of a research, and then we slowly build up a base, and meet like-minded people. So, you're not always alone. But yeah, I remember, the interactions I used to have with cryptids and just the weird phenomena out there in the forest and the woods when I was hunting as a child. And I say child, all the way up into teenage years. Um, it was so highly active. I remember one time I was fishing down this one stream, and it was pretty isolated. It was between two small little towns, and nothing but woods and rolling hills all around us. And it was me and a buddy of mine, and we were sitting there. I was sitting on this bank, a big stone on a bank, and we were fishing, and he was on the other side of the fishing hole. And I looked up. Something told me to look up, and there in the trees was this dark mass. Um, and I knew what it was. I knew who it was. It was, you know, Big Brother. It was the forest dwelling people. And
Uh,
I used to see them a lot. So after my first two interactions as a child, with them physically, I started, just expecting to see them. And I looked up, and it wasn't aggressive or anything. It didn't throw rocks or anything like that into the stream, into the fishing hole. It didn't push over any trees. It just stood there watching. And I looked at it, and I could see like a smile was forming on its face. And yes, I got a good look at its face. The skin, its skin was a grayish to almost black, like an ash color, um, like the ash color of like a charcoal once it's heated up and cooled down some. It was that
it's not
color.
natural looking. It's not a
Right.
natural looking thing. Yeah.
Right. And I remember seeing it smile, and it had big teeth, but it was smiling. It wasn't angry, and wasn't huffing and strutting around and stomping its feet and pushing trees over. So it didn't mind that we were there. Um, so what I did was, I just, thought to myself, if I catch a good fish, I'm going to leave one for him, and I'm going to take one for me to take home, and so we could prepare it, for dinner. And I got three strikes, three in a row, got three rainbow bass. The first one was about 13 and a half inches long, about 4 pounds. And the other two were about 6.5 to 7 pound rainbow trout. And anyways, to make a long story short, I left the biggest one I got on the bank for him, and he saw me set it on the rock I was sitting on. I set the fish on the rock I was
Uh,
sitting on, and I gathered my things, and I had this mental thought of something telling me look down at my feet. My feet were in water about that deep, okay, with pebbles and stuff down at my feet. Um, so I had like maybe a couple inches of water I was standing in, and I looked down at my feet, and here's a black obsidian spearhead, not an arrowhead, but a spearhead, about
uh,
about a good size, about 3.5 inches long. Um,
yeah.
and I picked it up, and I looked over at the shadow, and the shadow wasn't there anymore.
Uh,
He gifted me. Here we go. My computer's acting up again. He gifted me that arrowhead for leaving him to
yeah.
fish. So that's the kind of interaction I'm talking about that I've had with supernatural things and other paranormal phenomena growing up, and
I
that's
had
just
something
one
very
of the
similar. I had something
yeah.
very similar to that, William. Actually walking along the street one day. Uh, I was kind of, I was very downcast spiritually. I was
Mhm.
at a very low point spiritually. I was walking along the street alone. I remember that day was dark, cloudy. It was a rainy day. It had been raining a little bit. I was walking along and I said, just talking to myself, but sort of talking to God too, and I was just saying,
Mhm.
where are you at? where are you at? And I said, you should just give me a sign or something, and let me know you're there, or something. We've all had that happen. I think you get to that point where you ask that question, and all of a sudden I look down, and laying there on the sidewalk is a shiny pocket knife. I still have it, matter of fact. It's one of my favorite possessions, and it has my initials on it. Okay, it had my initials on it, and I said, "Oh, if that ain't a sign, I don't know what it is." And so sometimes you get that cooperation there. You get something to let you know that you're maybe where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's amazing. And then when you get into the whole orb thing, like we were talking about, to get back on the subject, I've had that same interaction with orbs, and I see it in my own children too. They have that interaction with the paranormal. So it's almost like a genetically transferred type of a thing from father to son, or mother to daughter, or mother to son, or
Well, that
father
is
to
known
daughter.
that it's something that's passed down through family lines. William, definitely.
Right. So, and and when I see orbs, it's like I interact with them, and I literally, I can get the orbs, to like come close enough to me that to where they're almost in my hand, and I'm almost holding them. And it's just it's really something, to have that kind of interaction. So there is definitely a difference in orbs, a certain degree differences in orbs. I do believe that. But what specifically 100% of what each orb is, I do believe each orb could possibly be different from each other. But I do believe that our government does mass energy weapons and one of these days a laser beam is going to come down and you're going to see a puff of flame.
Where did William go? He's gone.
Anyways,
And it won't be the rapture either. Okay.
yeah, yeah, but I'm
There's
just
I saw a little thing the other day. It had a picture of a flying saucer and it said, "If I disappear, it won't be aliens." Okay, and it had a biblical reference down there to it. I thought that was pretty neat. But you know what? You have to wonder, and I'm not going to get into that. It's another subject for another time about some of these disappearances. If they're not caused by certain auspices of certain agencies that can make you disappear, definitely. And energy weapons would be one way to go about doing that. You know.
right. Yeah, that's true.
And there's rumors
Yeah,
that what Geryl said earlier about the wildfires on Maui could have possibly been started by energy weapons too. There's a lot of testing. We do know that in Hawaiian Islands and around and other smaller islands around the mainland, the main islands, that
right.
there is a lot of government testing going on in those locations. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I just, I can't help but go back to my teachings as a young man, from my father, the Native American teachings about basically, we are connected to everything, and how everything has energy and everything has life, whether it breathes
Energy
with
is
lungs
life,
or
and
whether
life
it
is
breathes
energy. And that's what
or whether
Tesla
it
said,
breathes.
and Einstein said the same thing.
Yeah,
Energy never
yeah,
dies, so it has to be spiritual, doesn't it? Think about it that way. It has to be spiritual. What other way could it be? Energy never dies. It can take
yeah,
on a different form, but it
yeah,
still exists. And that's why I've had people say, "How can you worship God? He's a murderer. He goes around killing people." But he may be doing away with the bodies, but he does not destroy the spirit. Okay, the spirit is eternal. It lasts forever,
all right,
and that's what we're talking about
all
here.
right.
That eternal energy. You know.
Yep, yep. Yeah, I like Celia's thing here where she lives in Tahoe, Lake Tahoe area. That's really, really static electricity charge. So she's talking about how she has to use conditioner for her hair, otherwise she has crazy hair. Um, that's something that you would think that when you see orbs or you get them to come close to you, you would think that your hair would stand up on end. God forbid mine ever stand up on end because it'd be like it looked like remember the old Ronald McDonald with the
You
big
look like one of those
afro.
Cheyenne dog soldiers, wouldn't you? Remember that?
Yeah,
With a hip.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
I watched a
But
video
you know,
yesterday where a lady and their family were up. It looked like the Grand Canyon, and they'd put their finger out, and it's almost like they touched a wall of energy right before you get to the edge of the
Well,
Grand Canyon.
I
And
also
her
noticed
hair
that
started coming up, and then when she
at
took her
space flight
finger away,
yesterday.
her hair would go down. And they did it over and over. You can almost see sparks like on a wall, like a fake wall right there of energy.
mm-hmm.
They had that same thing happen with the space flight the other day. Did you see all those women in the hair on when they hit that? When they left gravity, hair all went like it on that ship. That was interesting.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of weird stuff in the Grand Canyon, though. I'm working on a couple news stories about the Grand Canyon for tomorrow night. So yeah, it's really something when you get into the whole orb and the whole connection thing. Because it's just my belief, guys, that they could be several different things. I'm not going to limit it to just being a spirit or a UFO or angelic or demonic. I think it's all of them. I think it's all of them. So
I agree. There's so many different ramifications to it, and but like I say, I can't go along with the people with the dust motes and the water droplets. Okay, they're just fooling themselves. They're kind of like these people, and you see them a lot. I'm not gonna mention any names. I took this picture and look at all these things manifesting in this picture. And it's all pareidolia. Okay, folks, there's nothing there, but they want to see something that's there. And I think people are reading a lot of things that aren't necessarily true into these orbs. But that's the human nature. That's human nature. You tend to do that. Um, but I like the orbs that have an intelligence. To me, that's what does it for me. And I think some of these orbs may definitely be proofs of some sort, whether they're from somebody else in the neighborhood or somebody outside the neighborhood. They're probes of some sort, I think, too. Mm-hmm.
Now me and Jane talk about this kind of stuff, at night, and I say that all the time because we have some pretty wild conversations and theories on stuff. But we've talked to like Jessica, the cryptid huntress, about remote viewing. And we were wondering, and we asked her this question: if you're remote viewing a time and space somewhere else, do you show up possibly as energy or an orb in their time and space?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
You always have to. Yeah, that is an interesting thought process of how that would happen if we do show up that way. I don't know. I don't know. That you just opened up a whole nother can of worms with that one. So
that's like I said before. That's what I said about residual hauntings. I said this on the show the other day. It's like looking back through time, and you see that like a film rolling. And they're doing what they're doing. But what if it goes the other way? What if they can see us and we can't see them? We are the ghost. We are their ghost. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case. So it depends on what reality you're coming from and what perspective and what the perspective is,
Well, as the veil thins, as we pierce the veil, you have to wonder, because there's reports of, whether it's cryptids or whatever it is, and all of a sudden they look surprised, like, hey, they can see me. So
That's what I said on my show.
sometimes I don't
said on
think
my
they're
show the other
expecting
night.
us to interact with them.
Yeah.
Hunting, when I said on Hunting the Shadows the other night, I was talking about living dinosaurs. What if some of these dinosaur sightings are actually the ghost of dinosaurs? That the remaining memory of them or something that's there in that place. A lot of these fantastic mythical creatures that people see could be based on that too. How much is imagination?
Yeah.
That's another question you got to ask. And we know how very strong imagination can be, how very powerful it can be.
Yeah.
Sometimes that might be the key too.
Yeah. I for one can talk about the strength of imagination because I do a lot of it in ceremony. And I have had tremendous things happen when you encompass your brain and your imagination along with your spirit in ceremony, and it's a supercharged connection. It's almost like using more than the 10% of the brain, because it almost enhances it. Like you're using 60% of your brain, and I can't imagine what would happen if we all had the ability to use 100% of our brain. I think we would all be almost supernatural, to tell you the truth. And I think that is one reason why the powers that be want to limit us and control us, is because they know that within us we have that power and capability. And I'm not saying we would be godlike, okay, because we would never be compared to the creator. There's only one creator, okay. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we would be superhuman. We literally
Well,
would.
they're working on that, William. Really, William, they're working on that. I told you that yesterday. That AI program that can go in and mess around with your genetics while you're in the womb. That's what they want to do. They could make super people. They can heighten the consciousness of these beings with DNA and all this other stuff.
But they don't want us. They don't want us to be those.
No. But they would like to control us that way. You think if you could make a super person and have absolute control over them, that is what? A weapon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But they're going to use that weapon for their own nefarious purposes.
Oh,
my point is,
it's not going to be for our benefit. It's never for our benefit.
My point is that they're dumbing us up. They have been dumbing us up for over 100 years now.
Well, that's how you control people.
Yeah, with fluoride, with sound waves, with
fluoride in the water TV and everything else.
Yeah, visualization from TV and computers and all that. They're dumbing us up to keep us suppressed from not being able to have that ability.
Did you see that report yesterday about the water?
Yeah.
They said that water coming out of the tap has got cancer-causing chemicals in it. Your water that you're drinking, you're bathing in, you're washing your clothes and dishes in, it's got cancer-causing ingredients in it. And there were certain areas that are even worse. And It depends on how they're filtering out the water and everything. This is wild, people. I'm telling you, this is wild stuff. They're killing us.
Well, their whole plan was to shut off our pineal gland. That's where our whole ability comes from. When we have our mind, soul, and body all in tune, ready to go. It's amazing once you concentrate so hard. And William and Dennis, that you can manifest and almost make your own reality by using your third mind or your pineal gland. But they're trying to stop us from using that. It gets calcified. So you have to go through the process to raise your vibration and to clean out your pineal gland so you start having those abilities again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And, I think a lot of portals are opened with the mind. I think that's the key. It opens a lot of portals. We know that without a doubt. That is one of the bad aspects of the dark arts, is to open those portals with the mind, the rituals, the blood, the whole works. A bad way of going about it. There's a good way and a wrong, a bad way to do things in this universe. But yeah, the mind is the key to a lot of this stuff. People got to realize that. And I keep thinking about what Job said in the Bible. All his terrible things that happened to him. All those awful things, and that statement he made. What I greatly feared, has come upon me. Think about that statement for a minute. What I greatly feared, the very thing he feared, was used against him. It came against him out of his imagination. Think about that. The imagination, like William said, gets things done. And that's a very vital part of our mind and thinking process. If we couldn't imagine stuff, how could we operate anything? And when you look at the engineer, when he sits down to make something, he first imagines what it does, and then imagination is that mother of invention. They used to say necessity was, but imagination is the father of it, if you want to put it that way, of invention, and maybe necessity is the mother. Okay, but you got to first think about it. It forms first in your imagination, whether you bring it to life or not. That's the way it is with a writer. Writer could not get nowhere without his imagination. So it's a very vital part of us, although we do ignore it a lot.
Yeah, true. I know from ceremony doing it that imagination is a powerful thing. And that's why the forces that be try to use that against us. They try to use our imagination. They try to base our fears off of our imagination, and what we perceive to be afraid of. That's why when they deal with
Well, they know
somebody
we
like
have the
me,
power. They know,
when they
William, we have the power. We have the
deal with somebody
power.
like me, when they deal with somebody like me, though, Dennis, someone who doesn't fear anything except his creator, and somebody that's proven that on the battlefield, that they don't know what to do, because they can't manipulate me. They have to either silence me or make me conform some way against my will. So
Well, that's the wild cards they don't like. That's the wild card I talked about earlier. But here's the thing about it. What I'm saying, they know we have the power. They know we have the power, but they don't want us to use it unless they want us to use it their way. In other words, that's the control they want over us, to weaponize us into being what they want us to be. They don't want us to have that free will. That's what it's all about.
Hey guys,
and they don't care how they go about doing it either.
I'm going to step out just for a second, okay? I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Anyway, they know what they're doing, and that's all part of the mind control process, to dumb somebody down, to get them to go to that sheep in the pen. You ever see them put sheep through the pens, or cattle through the pens? They got them the which way they want to, and if they don't go, they got what, cattle prods. You ever seen those used? They let them know, hey, keep in line, everybody. You get prodded if you don't. So they're good at that too. It's cattle is what it is.
There's always these incidents or cases where people are in time of crisis. Whether it's an accident or something very fearful, and people have their bodies all of a sudden attuned right at that moment, and they can manifest stuff to happen, whether they get super strength or they have supernatural abilities. There's all these reports out there are very interesting that, when for that brief moment you have your full consciousness and your mind and everything working all together at that one moment. And a lot of things become manifested right there in that time and space.
Oh, yeah. That's the important part of the imagination thing, definitely. And in the dark arts, when they go to do rituals, cast spells, or curses, whatever name you want to give it, they have to visualize first what they want. Okay, and that's why I warn people to be very careful with that visualization thing. Okay, because that's part of the imagination. If I were to sit down and visualize your death, girl, wanting you to die, doing these rituals against you, and all these things that gives power to it. You understand what I'm saying? That kind of gives a little power to what you're doing. Although you have to hook up with demonic forces too to get that done. That's sort of plugging your thing in the wall to the power source and getting it done. But that's where it begins, with a visualization, the chanting, the repetition of what you want done over and over and over again. That's where it starts. Okay, and that's how they get things done that way. And I agree with you, Monica David. No probing on this channel. Okay.
And that's why we say all the time, you have to protect your mind, your body, and your soul. You have to put up guards all the time.
I'm gonna be talking about that too, Geryl, on my next Hunting the Shadows. I'm gonna be talking about defense against the darkness, and I'm not talking about physical darkness. I'm talking about the forces of darkness here. Okay, I'm gonna be talking about that, giving out some illustrations and things that you can do to safeguard yourself against this darkness. People need to know this stuff.
So once you get in that mindset, where you have to protect your whole body, you can start to feel,
Strength.
whether a darkness comes against you, or you just have that feeling. You might even just be having an off day. That doesn't mean that something isn't coming towards you or at you. Whether I'm going to say a curse or an evil spirit or whatever, just having that off day could be an attack, and you have to protect yourself.
That's true. It's like I said so many times before, and I'm going to be talking about this, that balance. That balance has got to be there between your emotions, your physical part, your spiritual, and your mental thing. You got to have that balance. If one of them is lacking, then you got a problem, okay? But if you get them all up in that balance where they need to be, you've got a spiritual bumper around you. You've got a spiritual bumper that's going to help you, and it strengthens you. It strengthens you, and that's what you got to go for. So I'm going to be talking about that, definitely. There's a lot of stuff that people can do to safeguard themselves and their families against these forces. And we need to talk more about it. We need to learn more about it. Forewarned, forearmed is forewarned kind of a thing. If you're forearmed, you're in a good place. Your defenses are up, but they need to be.
Okay, let me see here. I'm going to go into. I think we're going to stay away from some of these anti-probing comments because a lot of it is
Yeah, I see one that we need to get rid of. Definitely. It's a good thing I'm not a moderator. They call me the Hammer.
We got Camo Dad in the house. So I want to thank everybody in the chat too. You guys are awesome. So
that's where moderators are very, very essential.
We need to make Crystal Hippie Chick a moderator, guys. Okay, if anybody can get into
previously known as the artist, formerly known as Raven Creek. Okay.
Yeah, we need to make her a moderator and give her full access to everything. That way she can control her own destiny on this because she's being blocked.
I don't
So
know who would erase her messages though.
That is weird. I don't know. I see our good friend Ashring is watching.
Crystal,
I haven't gotten that
Crystal
far yet.
or Raven makes a good point about our words and thoughts and emotions being energy, and you know that's how they end up casting spells, or we make stuff manifesting when you there is a force behind your thoughts and your emotions when you concentrate and get, like we were talking about, all of our things coming all together at once and being attuned and ready to go, and that's quite powerful.
Oh yeah. Mhm. So that's part of human nature, I believe. You know, that's the way we're put together. That's the way we're made. But there are certain forces out there that would like to harness that, and for their own, as William said, nefarious purposes. You got to remember that too. Don't let them use that against you. Uh, what your strength is your strength, but it can also be used against you by your enemies if you're not careful. Used to have an old saying in law enforcement: it's one thing to get shot at; it's another thing if you gave them the bullets. You know, don't do that. Don't do
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
I'm trying to get through the comments because
Messages.
it got yeah.
Yeah, you got kind of behind.
Had a bottleneck there.
Let's see here.
I've got a couple of obsidian arrowheads that I found. Yeah, myself. I found a lot of arrowheads over the years. I used to go when I was a kid. And I would wait for a good heavy rain. And I would go out in the cotton fields. I'd find arrowheads all day long because they would stand up on the. I mean, it'd be easy to find. They would stand up after the rain would wash the dirt off of them. You know, because the fields were plowed up. That got them up. You know, closer to the surface. So that was the perfect place to go after looking for them, you know.
Now, Raven said that her posts were links to our channels and GoFundMe, and if she's not moderator, then they won't let her post it. So that's going on.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I don't think I have control to make anybody moderator on my end.
I don't either. Well, with all those free wheeling jackasses running around out there, you gotta have moderators, definitely. You got some bad actors out there everywhere now.
Yeah.
I think some of them are paid to do some of the things they do too. By the way, I think they work for certain agencies, shall we say?
We need to start our own agency.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do. We need to.
That's
Well, we're
always
getting
been
close.
part of a
I'm getting the
government
pack.
campaign. It's not only to sow disinformation, but discredit people too, as much as possible.
Yeah.
That's why people used to be very quiet about UFO stuff. Oh, they'll call me a nut. They were very good at discrediting people to shut them up.
If we get our band of brothers and everybody together, and we get some spiritualists, some mediums, some medicine men, some computer hackers, and we could start going against all this stuff.
We could rule the world
if we wanted to. I want a bunch of minions. I don't want them unionized either. By the way, they never unionize the minions. No.
Yeah, it never ends up.
You got a problem. Where's my minions at? That's what I want.
I'm gonna get one of my white cats and start stroking it slowly.
Put your finger up like this. You need a mini me there, Geryl.
Oh.
Mini me.
Oh, I don't know if I can handle another one of me. I know Jane doesn't want another one of me.
Yeah, no, she probably have something to say about that.
Yeah. 15-stage water filter. Good Lord.
I know. I saw that comment.
That would be good to have.
Wow.
Definitely. My gosh, how much expensive that would be, though? Wouldn't it be rather expensive?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it's a bad situation about the water, the stuff that they putting in everything we drink and all this. We don't know where the water's coming from. I remember that happened out on the reservation where that woman put the water out of the spigot and lit it up with a match. And it, like it had so much gas or something in. I don't know why. We don't know what we're drinking. Bad situation. And the bottled water that we get, it's probably just tap water. It's running out of a tap somewhere. It's not real spring water. Where are you going to go, really, truly, to get pure water anymore? Think about it.
You guys, some of you guys in the chat are so lucky. I'm not very, 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 very censoring, because this is getting ridiculous. Oh, that's funny. Funny, Mike. That's funny. God.
Yeah, with all the
Oh yeah, I saw that about the chest
chemtrails,
hairs. Yeah,
you probably can't even go up in the mountains and get clean spring water anymore.
No, you can't.
Real spring water. Yeah. That's the bad thing about it, Silvio. When you're digging in your soil and planting your seeds, you got to wonder what's been put in the soil. I'm gonna tell you what, like I said, that was an eye opener for me several years back when I killed my tomato plants with tap water. I mean, I killed them, and we don't know what's in the rainwater anymore, unfortunately.
Right.
All this HARP stuff going on, all that stuff, and that goes in the soil. The rainwater goes into the soil, so there you go.
Yeah.
I'll change my name in 14 days. Why don't you fool them, hippie chick, and come back as Creek Raven, and not Raven Creek, okay? Just turn it backwards. It's Creek Raven.
Or Charms Raven Creek.
Yeah. Start putting some numbers after them. 1, 2, 3.
Creek Raven
4.
Charms. Creek Raven Charms. That would fool them.
Camo Dad, that sounds. Camo Dad says he's cleaning the house while he's listening. That sounds too much.
Come clean mine, please. You can work on mine if you.
Ray, I just got my last cup.
I need some vacuuming done here. These orbs are everywhere. I got orbs all over the place here.
Those are fuzzies on the carpet.
Well, if they're going to be zipping in and out, they might as well be useful and do something while they're here.
I got all kinds of stuff
push the
here.
vacuum around or something.
I got all kinds of stuff here. You know, I've even got a black orb here somewhere in the grotto here. I'll have to get it out one day. You know, tell me what you find in here. Voodoo doll over there in the corner.
I'm working on my third cup.
I'm doing the Gatorade thing. This is the new Gatorade stuff. I got energy drink.
Yeah, what happened to your McDonald's coffee run every morning?
I had to get away from coffee for a while. It was starting to get to me. Give me acid reflux on that.
Bring it on. Acid
reflux. I'll take my caffeine cold. I'll take my caffeine cold. That's the first thing I think about when I wake up in the morning. I used to smoke, you know. I don't smoke anymore. But that's the first thing I think about now. Where's the caffeine?
Traded one for the other, huh?
Yeah. I still dream about smoking cigars. I was a big fan of cigars. Oh, yeah. Me and Arnold Schwarzenegger, yeah. I was a big fan of cigars. I could eat one just about right now.
No,
makes my mouth water. Think about it.
Not me. I don't like cancer.
No. I've attempted to post Midwest Link, Nighthawk Bonfire, and GoFundMe links. They're also erased. What's going on with that, huh?
Well, you have to be a moderator to post links. So I think that's
that's probably what may be going on. Yeah, that may be what's going on. Yeah, she'll have to make her a moderator and come back as Creek Raven Charms or something.
Lucky Charms.
Yeah, Lucky Charms. My friend Barry Fitzgerald, he used to have a site. You know, he's Irish, and the name of his site was Charm Stealer.
Oh,
I always like that. That's pretty neat. Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that, Camo Dad, but I'd be more than willing to share some of my artifacts and stuff with you, brother. So you just let me know. So, in fact, I got a whole bunch of stuff. I'll be because you know, with my people, when we pass, we have what they call a wopila. It's a giveaway, and we give away a part of our lives to people. Which is our things that we held, you know, in the highest regard while we were living. So, and I will make sure everybody gets at least a little something. So,
that's it, man. You know, you get rid of your personal history like that. You know, it should be passed down. Shouldn't get rid of it. Dr. Evil. Grandmaster G was also known as Dr. Evil. If you're Dr. Evil, guess who I am? I'm Austin Powers, okay?
Oh. Shagadelic.
International Man of Mystery. She found a couple of shark teeth. She had them examined to make sure you want. Oh, yeah. You know, a lot of these areas were under the oceans and stuff. Yeah. I used to when I was a kid. I was an amateur archaeologist. I dug holes all over the place. My mother and father hated me for doing that. But anyway, I dug holes everywhere. And I would find shells so far down, you know, and I was up here in the upstate of South Carolina, hundreds of miles from the ocean. But a lot of this was covered up by ocean at one time or another. But I would find shells that were not usually, you know, the Native Americans traded with shells and done a lot of stuff. They brought things from the coast, but this was more than that. I think this was actual deposit of shells, you know. But I found all kinds. I wish, as a stupid kid, I got rid of that stuff. stuff I found, but I found some interesting artifacts. Very interesting stuff. I found a
Yeah.
one time, and it was a ceremonial type ball. It was about the size, not quite as big as a baseball, and it had all kinds of markings on it, and had a ring carved into it, and it was made out of very ancient looking clay. I don't know what that was. I have never seen another artifact like it, and I've searched a lot of museum manifests for it, and I never found the same thing again. I don't know what that was. It looked prehistoric. It really did. It looked that old. I don't know if that was some kind of a ceremonial game ball or what. You know, the Aztecs and the Mayans had games, where they played ball games. I just wonder if that could have been it. But as a stupid kid, I lost that thing, I guess, somewhere. I don't know whatever happened to it. To go back and take this things away from myself, I'll be all right.
Growing old with a purpose. Good to see you in here too. So, and Monica, and let's see, Camo Dad, Yolanda, Crystal, Celia, and of course Tombstone. Wonder how Ozzy Sue's doing. I haven't seen Ozzy Sue in a while.
Hey, Geryl, you ever think about metal
I'm thinking out
detecting?
loud,
You ever
guys.
done that?
Just go ahead.
Yeah, I actually borrowed a metal detector and went over our property and found some stuff. Nothing of significance, but yeah, I've been looking to.
I've done a lot of it.
Get into
I've
metal
got
detecting.
one. I've got a metal detector sitting over here in the corner. I've done a ton of that stuff. I mostly only find car tags.
Mm-hmm. Susie B goes out metal detecting and finds a lot of neat stuff.
Yeah, depends on where you search. Okay. The beach is a very good place to find stuff. Beaches and all that.
I feel a giveaway coming.
Yeah, I'm gonna be giving away some stuff here. Hold on.
I thought I heard that sound.
Okay. I got to get 3 separate piles because I'm going to give away 3 separate piles of stickers. All right. Let me see here. There's that one. Oh, that's a cool one.
Wow, we went over the hour and a half mark already.
Step away from the. There's that one.
Oh yeah.
Peace, love, and alien. Yeah.
Woo!
Dennis, we need to get you some stickers.
That's the woo factor. Oh yeah, crowd of aliens. All right.
That's a lot of freaking aliens there.
Yep.
Here's my block.
Oh yeah. That's the whole gang right there.
Oh, here's like cool taking vacation pictures.
That's a cool
one.
one.
Yeah, that's a new one. Yeah, I like that one. Yeah. Alien abduction.
Okay, so let me see here. Okay. Okay, here's some alien writing.
I don't believe in humans. I like that one. That's pretty good.
And we got a special guest here, so hold on. I'm gonna bring him up here in a second.
One of the questions if they could guess what all 3 types of dogs Jacob is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there we go. Come here, babies. Come here, bubbies. Oh, there he is.
There's the boy right there.
is.
There's Jacob. There's Jacob.
Hey,
He
buddy.
got bacon.
Oh, I want
Jacob
bacon.
boy. Yeah.
Yeah, he got bacon this morning, didn't he? Yeah. 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 Yeah, he
Wide
loves
open.
bacon.
Dog kisses.
Okay, one of the questions is going to be, he has 3 types of dog. Okay. Can anybody come close enough to those 3 types of dogs that he is?
Oh, I don't even think I know that.
You can tell by the face and the ears on 2 of them, and by his body and his tail. Yeah.
I already think I know, but I'm not gonna say it. Yeah.
That's the
He's
first
got some
question.
fairy dog in him. He's got some fairy dog in him, definitely. I ain't gonna tell you what the fairy dog is. Starts with a C. That's almost the only thing I'm gonna give you.
There's one of them, Chihuahua.
No, it ain't
Yep,
Chihuahua.
that's one.
No, I'm talking about the fairy dog,
That
not
is
Chihuahua. Yeah.
Yeah, you part Chihuahua. You know that word. Yep. You know that word.
Growing Old with Purpose says Corgi and Chihuahua.
No, not Corgi, but Chihuahua is one of them.
And then Raven says Chihuahua and Terrier.
No, not Terrier.
Yes,
Everybody's
yeah.
got Chihuahua, right? Think small. Think small.
I thought he would have had some corgi in him. He looks like he's got some. Those ears look definitely corgi to me.
Yeah, but look at the size of my hand compared to his body. Okay, he's a small dog. He's tiny. Okay,
We had
he's a tiny boy.
We had a dog growing up, or I did. Was part Chihuahua and part Pomeranian.
Bingo!
All right, we got a winner here.
We got one. We got 2 of the 3. We got 2 of the 3. Camo Dad's got Pomeranian and Chihuahua. We got 2 of the 3. All righty. Let's see. Come on. 3rd one, folks. 3rd one. 3rd one. Think short. Pushed in face.
It wouldn't start with a P, would it?
It might. 3 letters, people. 3 simple letters. 3 simple letters. Believe it or not.
There, Raven
He is
said
the
it.
only one out of
Monica, Yolanda. Now they're starting to say it. I think he froze up on us, Dennis. I think Raven said pug and first.
Yeah, well, I've got 3 piles of stickers, so we're gonna go with Camo Dad, Raven Creek, and Monica. Okay. In fact, I'll make 4 piles. We'll go with Growing Old with a Purpose too. And what the heck? I'll do 5 piles. Yolanda, I'll give you a set of stickers too, okay? So here's what I need all of you 6 people to do is to send me your mailing address to my email, okay? So I'm going to put my email down on here, and you all send me your mailing address, and I'll get those stickers put in the mail this week. Okay. I can't guarantee that it'll be tomorrow and Monday morning, but it will be this week. Okay. So you can expect them the following week. All right. So we've got, let me see here. We got Yolanda, Raven, Monica. Let me see. Let
You
me
said Camo
go
Dad.
back up. Yeah, Camo Dad. Growing Old with a Purpose. Growing Old with Purpose. Okay. And let me see, who else was it? There was Yolanda, Raven, Monica, Camo Dad, Growing Old with a Purpose, and
Celia, was it Celia? I can't. I don't see it.
You said 6, but I thought there was only 5, but I don't know.
it was Celia. Yeah, it was Celia. So Celia, send me your, get my email. Yeah, it was Celia. Get my email, and you guys go ahead and send me your mailing addresses, and I'm going to put a pack of stickers together for you guys and mail them off to you. Okay. Like I said, I'll get it out in the mail this week, so you guys will get it the next week. Okay. I'm just, I'm saying this week in the mail because I tend to get out when I physically can know I can do it. Okay. So, but there might be a couple other surprises in the envelopes coming to you all. So, just, and that's just a little something added from me to you guys. Okay. But I really, really appreciate everybody in the chat. All our moderators are fantastic. If it wasn't for our chat family, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't even have a reason to discuss these things on such a basis that we do. So that in itself is very, very, very nice to have, So, but and everyone's gonna get stickers, from the podcast and stuff. So we're all gonna have in those envelopes. You'll have the Nighthawk, High Strangeness, Midwest, Chiro Sounds stickers. So along with those other stickers, okay. So you're gonna have a good amount of stickers, okay. At least in the envelope. But for
Dennis,
for
we need to get some made for you.
So yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
But see, that's if and I hate to say it this way, okay. But on my kind of an income, I get these as I can. Because once I run out, I have to save up and reorder more, so that being said, it is what it is. I mean, but we all try, we all try our best. But yeah, we are going to get into a lot of crazy stuff. So let me see. I'm still putting piles together, guys. So you guys go ahead and talk amongst yourselves. Okay, one.
Well,
two,
Dennis, why don't you tell us what you got going on this week?
Okay, well, tonight, Demonology tonight, at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Daylight Time, we're on now, by the way. It's going to be part 2 of the War on Christianity. It's going to be very interesting. I think you enjoy that. And we're going to talk about some freaky stuff on that, definitely, that's going on out there. And Wednesday night on Hunting the Shadows, it's going to be a very interesting broadcast on that. I'm going to be talking about defense against the darkness, things you can do to safeguard yourself against the forces of darkness in this world. Safeguard yourself and your families, your loved ones, and your way of life. And it's very important. It's going to be a very important show. You definitely don't want to miss it. And that'll be Wednesday night at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Geryl?
Yep. Tonight at 6 p.m. Central, on Piercing the Veil, we're going to have Andy Decodes from the UK is going to be on our show.
Oh, Andy, yeah. Andy's on my friends list. Good. He's a good guy.
He's and then Wednesday at it actually be Thursday morning, but it's 12:30 a.m. We're going to be following Dennis on both days, Sunday and Wednesday, and we're going to bring back the Night Owl Lounge and get that rolling again.
Woo! That's the one I like because I wake up at that time, because I sleep like maybe an hour and a half, and then I wake up for an hour or so, and then I fall back to sleep for an hour and wake up again. So because I'm constantly having to readjust myself because I have to sleep sitting
You're
up.
doing cat naps. You're doing cat naps, huh?
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's the one that I like is the one that's on at that hour of the morning. So.
Yep. So we'll be bringing that back this week, Wednesday at 12:30 a.m. Central. You got to remember Central. So it'll be early Thursday morning.
Yeah.
And Midwest Night Watchers.
Did you see what I did with the podcast on Midnight Monsters? Did you happen to catch that? You didn't?
No.
Okay. I've got the schedule written, right? But
yeah. Okay.
On Midnight Monsters, I've got starts at 11:59 p.m. Tuesday night.
There you go.
Because it gets too confusing, when you tell somebody midnight, they think that it's it's going to be Tuesday night and not Wednesday night,
Right.
So,
there in this town where I live, there used to be a drugstore, and he would close every night at 6:48. And he said he did that because 6:48 there was always somebody a little late,
Yeah.
They would make it. It helps when you do a little maneuver at the time.
And this week's Midnight Monsters Beyond the Dark, the subject is going to be shapeshifters. I'm going to delve deep into the topic with everybody. I'm going to give everybody in the chat a chance to ask me questions about my heritage and about the shapeshifters in that. And we all know what that word is. Juno and Yolanda and everybody, we're going to keep that to ourselves. But anyways, but yeah, we're going to be talking shapeshifters. And the difference between shapeshifters and possession. And a lot of people get that confused. So we're gonna be going over that in Midnight Monsters this Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. Okay, Eastern time, 11:59 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow night at 11 o'clock. I think Dennis, are you joining me for that one or? That's
a paranormal news.
Yep. The High Strangeness Paranormal News Hour. And it's just going to be about an hour. And we're going to go over, Dennis and I are going to go over the stories and the interests and all that of the news in the paranormal field, supernatural field, cryptid field over the past month, basically. All the stories and stuff coming out in the news. And I've got a couple updates, too, that I'm going to be telling people about tomorrow night on several of those stories. So that's going to be a good one, too. So, and then, of course, our regularly Into the Red Rabbit Hole. I talked to Carlito, and we are basically going to start that podcast from now on at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, okay, instead of 10 o'clock Eastern. because the one thing I wanted to do is because we have Blondes and Booze and all these other podcasts on, and they run till 10 o'clock or so. And, and I didn't want to like have to interfere with the transfer from one podcast to another. So that gives people a half an hour leeway to go get a cup of coffee, to go get something to eat, and come back and put the podcast on at 10:30. So, plus it gives the other podcasters that are on from 9 to 10 or whatever a chance to come on our podcast and chat with us too. So like Brandy and Krista do, and Bigfoot Michigan Rob do all the time. So that's why we're doing it. So it's going to be 10:30 p.m. Friday nights from now on, Eastern time, for Into the Red Rabbit Hole. Okay. So, and of course, Carlito will probably join us about, 10 minutes into that. So, because he works all day. So we're giving him enough time to eat something and to get cleaned up and to come on. So that's why we're doing it. And then, of course, Saturday and Sunday mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern, we have our show here, the Paranormal Weekend Morning Brew Show. And if you don't have a brew, you don't got a clue.
There you go.
Anyways, but everybody in the chat, you're most welcome for those. But yes, Monica, Yolanda, all you guys, send me your mailing address at my email, okay? lakotaman333@gmail.com, and I will get those out to you. Okay, I guarantee it. Okay, and they're going to be, it's a good sticker pack too. And like I said, a couple of them are going to have something a little extra in it. Okay, so, but hey, everybody's a winner here at the channel, huh? So,
winner, chicken dinner.
Six people answered it, and yeah, 6 people answered it, and 6 people got the stickers coming. So, anyways, oh, and another update too is Shane Michael Crisp, my dear little brother from California, is going to be sending me some stickers too, and I'm going to start giving some of those away too for his channel and for his groups. So you can look for that, and Shane's got some pretty cool stickers too. So, so, and he is part of our family. So, we got to include family. So, I encourage every podcast that is part of our family, whether it's Blondes and Booze, Bigfoot Michigan Rob, Texas Front Porch, D.A. Roberts, Robbie Rains. I encourage everybody, Tom Cardos, Carlito, everybody to just go ahead if they want. We can do these giveaways. We can interchange stickers, and they can give away stickers of ours on their podcast. You know what I mean? So, it's just a way to keep the community together and to keep us all helping one another, if you know what I mean. So that's the way I think it needs to be, and that's the direction it needs to go. So, but I want to thank everybody for being here today. It's been a very, very short 2 hours. It's amazing how fast time flies. But I'm going to get off of here because I had somebody very gracious, Dave and Melissa, donated me a pad for my wooden chair. So my butt's not hurting as bad. Thanks to a gel pad. Anyways, but I am down on my coffee. So everybody in the chat, thank you for being here. Congratulations to all the winners today. Cecilia, Yolanda, Raven, Monica, Camo Dad, and Growing Old with a Purpose. Thank you all for being here. You all are family. Thank you to all the moderators. One day we're going to be doing a giveaway for the moderators, but I've got to build up a little bit more of my patches. I want to give every moderator. Every moderator, I think, should have one of our patches. Okay. one of my channel's patches, which is the Dog
That's
Man
my favorite.
American
Yeah.
flag patch. Okay. That's because the Dog Man, you know, that's near and dear to my heart, okay, because of my upbringing, okay. But anyways, I want all the moderators to have that patch. So, you know, look for that. I'll let everybody know that's a moderator on a channel to send me their mailing address, and I'll get those out to them too. So it's just my way of saying thank you to everybody that so graciously supports us and is so gracious in the chat and so polite in the chat that, you know, it means a lot to me. So, and I just want everybody to know that. So, you're going to get one of them patches too. Okay. So don't worry about that. Cause, and these patches, by the way, are a representation of our army. Okay. That's our army. That's our Paranormal Weirdo Warrior Army
Flag.
patch.
That's our flag. Yeah.
Yep. So, but anyways, everybody, thank you very much for being here. We look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow night. Check out Dennis's show today on Grizzly Chris, and G's show today on his channel, Midwest Night Watchers. You know, it's going to be a good one. So we will see you all tomorrow night on my channel here. Dennis and I will be here with the news, the paranormal news for the month. And we'll see you all then, okay? And we'll keep this weirdo routine going, okay? Everybody take care. God bless. Have a great day and question everything.
Love and peace, everyone.